I just woke up out of a deep sleep. Welcome to Reality Factor. You know, I have a lot on my mind. I tend to think about things a lot. I tend to not put them on video, but things run through my mind all the time about videos I can make and put on here. And lately I said, you know what? Whatever's on my mind, I'm just going to put it on video. Fuck it. If I get, 30 views or 100 views, 200 views, I'm okay with that. I'm content. It's 4 a.m. I don't expect anybody to be up. You know? Um, as you get older, like one of the things about it, ain't that right, little pause, is that the mind grows wiser. It does. You tend to see the world for what it is. And you tend to accept things for what they are rather than to try to dissect it or try to figure it out. Some people call that black pill. I just call it reality. You know, because the things that I say on my channel are things that most YouTubers don't discuss or they don't talk about. So that's how I try to differentiate myself from most of the content makers on here that post fake content for views and subscriptions and likes or whatever. I don't want to be that way. I don't want to hire fake actors or hire, and come up with fake stories and make up bullshit on my channel. Because this is not me personally. It's not how I operate. Now you're going to say, well, you're not going to make any money on YouTube. Well, that's great. I don't care. I'm done with that. I gave up on the theory of becoming a popular YouTuber. I really don't care. You know? And with that being said, when you look at everything that's going on in the world today, wars, famine, drought, and you look at third world nation, or what they call it, third world countries, first world countries, Western civilization, Eastern civilization. You look at how society sort of is run, right? And you look at, like, here in the United States, you have like large homeless encampments, and you got mental illness, drug crisis, stuff like that. Crime rates up. You look at all these things, man, right? And you sit and you ask yourself, like, why are these things occurring? Like, what's the science behind it? Why is this happening? Right? You see like kids that are homeless or starving or whatever, and you ask yourself, why does this stuff happen? Like, right? Because I was reading a report that we have enough food to distribute around the world, so we're like, everybody could have 3 meals a day, right? But if that is the case, why doesn't it happen? Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's You look at the content makers of today. Most YouTubers, most of your social media content makers are a joke. Like most of them, about 90% of them. Okay. And what do they promote mostly? Materialistic things. I got a big giant house. I got fancy fucking cars. I got a Bugatti. I'm a prankster. Anyways, to make a long story much longer. So, little pause is listening to my story. Okay. So he wants to know, Mr. Elstree, what is your point? Okay. What's the point of this video? I'll tell you the point. The world operates on money. So it's unfortunate. That's just the way it is. Right? So you have to have money to have things like to have a house, car, or to be able to eat, have your basic essentials, stuff like that, right? Food, water, shelter, right? And this is probably going to be the, I don't know, maybe the most, I don't know what's the word I want to use for it, but it's the one of the most, I guess, heart wrenching realities we face. You know what that reality is? Is that when you're poor and you have no money and you have no way of like getting around or whatever, you're treated a lot differently than you do when you have money. And even if you don't have a lot of money, but you have like something, you notice that the treatment is a lot better. Now, maybe that could be for all the wrong reasons. You know, some people are like, oh, we can use this guy for money or whatever. We're going to use him. And, there's always that too. You know, you're going to have people that are going to want to be around you for the wrong reasons when you have a little bit of bread. I get that. Because they're like, hey, your money's my money kind of ordeal. But the sad reality is like when you're poor versus when you have some sort of income, like you notice that you're treated a little bit differently by society. Like, like they kind of have this like roll out the red carpet for you. They want to give you the best service. They even are more tend to be more nicer towards you. Versus if broke, don't have any money and stuff. Now, of course, you're gonna have some people that feel sorry for you and stuff. That is true. But the reality is if like I noticed that if you don't have any money, you tend to get ignored a lot more. It's sort of like if you look at it like um, if you see like somebody that is real beautiful and they get a lot of attention, and then somebody that's ugly doesn't get any attention, right? Or not as much per se. So, you know, that's kind of different, but I'm kind of trying to like make an analogy or like a comparison. Like I'm basically saying is that like it's like either you have it all and you get treated well, or you have nothing and you don't get treated well at all. Does that make sense? It's like the way we treat people, especially when they're poor, like kids and stuff like that. You see that. You see homeless encampments. We just walk past them every day. Homeless people. Like, regardless of whether it's drugs or whatever, like the treatment's a lot different, right? You know? And, we'll say, well, why don't we ever do anything for the poor? How come we don't do anything for like people here? And like, you look at it like from I guess our politicians or whatever, like I think our government doesn't really care about poor people. And you know, it's just kind of like one of those sad facts of reality. Like when I was broke, and I hardly had a penny to my name, and I was making nothing, like minimum wage, like barely making any money. I barely was able to do anything, you know. And I'm not saying I'm rich or anything like that, so I don't want to like give you that impression. But like I noticed that the treatment's a lot better. Like when you have a little bit more money and that you can go around and do the things that you want to do, and people will give you like better service. They treat you a lot better. Um, they treat you a certain way. Um, like that, the attitude kind of changes. You know, and I don't know. It's just kind of one of those eye opener things. It's like it's kind of like in one case you kind of understand that hey, if you have the money you can go around and do whatever you want, but at the same time you have people that don't have anything, and it's like It used to be, donate $1, it feeds 3 people in this country. You hear those commercial ads. And now it's kind of like if you look at social media and you see a lot of the clowns that are on YouTube and that are on social media, which is why I unfollowed a lot of them. Um, Now it's like I'm just gonna get rich to just make you feel bad. Like I'm gonna step on your neck. Like if you look at how society's kind of swayed towards the materialistic side of things now, it's about having it all or having nothing mentality. It's like the only reason why they want to get famous is so that they can step on your neck and tell you you're a peasant. And that's just wrong. It's wrong. But it's a sad reality of how the world operates. It really is. And I'm not here to like ask for donations. I'm not here to ask for no money for nobody. I'm just making a video, just spitting this shit out. This is the reality of how the world works. And it's unfortunate. Now with the internet, and now everything is so like taboo and the cat's out of the bag, you know. Now everybody's just on the internet acting childish. Is that the best way to put it in? They're very childish. A lot of these content makers are jokes. And I don't care if they have 200 subscribers or 3 million, it's irrelevant. They're just a bunch of jokes. And basically, their job to get famous is to make you worship them and put their foot on your neck. And I just think it's the wrong way. It's a wrong message to send to people. But at the same time, it's the sad reality of how the world operates, how they treat you when you don't have money, when you do. You know, like if I walk around the mall with a shopping bag, for example, and I bought 2 things, you get better treatment when you walk in stores, or you have the those little like little tellers or whatever, like they're selling like jewelry or perfume because they got like or cologne. They have a lot of those setups at the mall, and they're constantly trying to like bring you over there, and they treat you really well. Like they talk to you, and now it's part of their sales, but at the same time, when you walk around with nothing in your arm and you're walking around, no one wants to get your attention. Like they don't give a shit to get your attention. You understand? Even in like, let's say, the restaurants or whatever, they treat you a different way. Like you get treated a certain type of way. Even like, let's say you have a car, right? So if you have a vehicle, right? I had a job in security, right? When I was working there. So, and they were dying to keep me there. Not because I had a car, it's because most of the people that were going to work didn't have a source of transportation. So what that means is that they're unreliable. The company saw them as unreliable. I can't depend on these people to come to work because they don't have a car. Mr. Rose has a car. So if he has a car, that means he's making payments. And if he's making payments on his car, he has something, right? He may not be a millionaire. He has something. He has a car. I mean, I'm not saying because you have a car, you're rich, but in their mind, it's already like set up that you have something like setback. You have like a setback or like a secondary job or like some sort of source of income. So they treated me a lot better than I would say that they would treat most of the security guards that were working there. You know, they were fighting to keep me when I was leaving, and I was only employed with them for a year. I just, I guess the point that I'm making is that when you're poor, it's like no one cares. You see what I'm saying? And it's like you have to get to a certain point to where, you know, to where they kind of like do show you a little bit more hospitality, where they do treat you better. And I'm not even saying I agree with any of this. I'm just saying this is from like an observant view. This is how the world unfortunately operates. It's like you look at third world countries, right? Or countries with less fortunate, right? And for example, you look at I'll give you an example like Gaza. All right, the unemployment rate in Gaza is like 75% or something. I was reading some statistics on that. I don't know if it's true. Somebody could correct me in the comment section. I don't know if that's true or not, but they were saying that how come How come it's been like this for so long and nobody's tried to help? The U.S. hasn't tried to help. You know, this and that, right? Anyway, somebody made up a good point. I don't know exactly who it was that said it because I remember I was watching this news article probably about a couple of years ago, and he had said that the reason why is because the people there are poor and they have nothing to offer. And I sat there, and he wasn't saying it in a disrespectful tone. What he was basically implying was that the U.S. wasn't going to invest into anybody that had nothing to offer. And I said, you know what? Like thinking about it, I said he probably was right. Like to that degree, is it's the mindset. You know what I'm saying? It's like people say, "Oh, well, I'm not going to hang out with you if you're broke. I'm not going to hang out with you if you have no money or something like that because I always have to pay for you, right?" You hear that saying with your friends, like you have friends that want to go out but they never have any money, right? So you you're not going to go out with them if they don't have no money and be able to spend it on whatever. And think about it. So like, why don't you want to go out with them? Because you know you're gonna have to pay for them, but because you know they have no money. Versus if you have buddies that can pay for themselves, have some money, you're gonna, take the time to want to, pay for them, right? Or spend time with them. And it's like the treatment's a little bit better when you have money when you don't. Does that make sense? And again, I'm not rich. No, far from it. It's just even like the treatment is a little bit better when you have something versus when you don't. And I'm not saying that you should go around and treat somebody who doesn't have anything, you know. Um, you don't want to treat somebody that doesn't have anything like they're nothing either, because we all came from that place. But it's just that's sort of how the world operates. It's unfortunate. It is. Um, like for example, like you know, I give money to the homeless, right? What I have, what I can. I'm not a billionaire or nothing like that. So like when I see some of the homeless, I'll maybe give them like $10 or $20 or something like that. There used to be this one lady that she used to be at the corner on 59. It was an old lady. And I used to give her like $20, $30, like every time I saw her, because she was just real genuine, real sweet. She was like in her 60s and was down on her luck. So I used to give her like 20, $30 at a time, and I gave this old man one time, it was off of Willcrest, and I want to say going over there towards Elsick High School. I think it was High Star or something like that. Like he was over there by that Jack in a Box, and I gave him 20, and the dude started crying. Like, kind of touched me. I'll never forget that. Like I gave him $20. He started crying, and like $20 to me, I always see it like it's, oh, that ain't nothing, right? $20, but to somebody else, that's a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I sit back, it's like I've bitched about so many things back in the day. Now, like I kind of look at it now and I kind of regret it because I realize that there are people that are way less fortunate than I am, and I never really thought about it like that. Like I always was entitled and thought that I was entitled to certain someone or a certain thing, and I deserve this or that. I never really like looked at the bigger picture. Is that when you think you're going through hard times, or there's always somebody else that has it worse. You know, Sometimes people lose sight of that. They lose sight of counting their blessings. They lose sight of counting their situation they're in. And the sad thing about it is you got people on social media, instead of being grateful for the things they have, they'd rather be pieces of shit and make content, you know, being materialistic and doing this whole foot on the neck and calling people peasants and broke and brokies and poor and stuff, acting all narcissistic, which is why I unfollowed pretty much almost all of them. And, you know, instead of being humble about you know, your experience, instead of being humble about your situation, you know, you'd rather just put your foot on people's necks. And it's a sad reality of life, but it's fucked up. It is fucked up. And, you know, you look at the homeless rates here, like, it's just insane. It seems like it goes up and up and up. And it's just like we have this mental health crisis. It's going around. One out of every five people are walking around with untreated mental illness. It just seems like to me, it's like the message is sent. Is that if you're broke and poor, and we just want nothing to do with you. It's like that's like from an observant standpoint, that's what it is. It's like there's no middle ground anymore, meaning there's no like middle class. It's like, oh, it's either you have it all or you have nothing. It seems like that's where society's moving towards. It's like we either have it all, you're either at the top 1%, or you're just nothing. You have nothing. I don't know exactly where I'm going with this video. I just thought that I would just make it because it's something that I wanted to talk about today. But I was sleeping and I woke up and it was on my mind, on my mind, on my mind, and I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna pop it, hit the record button, fuck it. You know, it's unfortunate, you know, but it's like this is how the world operates. It's like it's either you're rich or you're poor. Like there's no like in between. Like people say there's a middle class. You know, you have the middle class and stuff, and it's like, yeah, I mean, you kind of do, but it doesn't really feel like we have a middle class anymore, does it? You know, so it's either the way it operates now is it's either you gotta cut corners and cut throat to get where you want to get to, or it's just you're gonna be poor. And it's like you're like looking at it from the outside in. That's like how our business model is operating now. It's how like the mindset is operating. It's like twisting and churning. I've never used that term churning before. Churning and going through your mind. But like it's unfortunate. You know what sucks is when you have kids kids that grow up poor. More or kids that are homeless. That shit just eats away at me the worst. Because it's one thing when you're an adult and you're poor and people say, get off your ass, get a fucking job. You know, it's like, okay, I get that. But when it's children that are poor, then they have like no control over it. Like they can't just get up and get a job. So how are they supposed to help their situation when it's out of their control, if that makes sense? You know. You know, once upon a time the world was a decent place that helped people out. And now it's like the way society is moving towards, it's like everyone's fighting to get to the top. You know, like everyone's jockeying for a position. It's like, you know, trying to get a rebound at a basketball game and everyone's elbowing and kicking each other and, you know, trying to grab the rebound, trying to gain possession of the ball. You know, at least seem that's like what the business model is now. It's like, remember I made that video? I said that we live in a nation of stealing. That's what I was referring to. Like if you look at everything that's going around, it's where we're at. Everyone's just stealing from each other. There's no such thing as as a business model anymore or customer service or anything. It's just stealing. People are just stealing from each other. What's the next way that I can steal from the next person? Just cut corners, make a faulty product, and pass it off as a brand new product. Outsource the work for a penny to the dollar, and that's it. That's why I said customer service was dead in this country. That's exactly what I was referring to. This is what the world is now. This is an ugly side of the world that we live in. It's ugly and cruel, and it's very cutthroat. And that now, like the whole veil has been unleashed, and what's the word I want to use? It's the sort of the cat's out of the bag, and now it's been exposed. The ugly side of the world, the ugly dark truth of the world, and that's if you're poor, nobody wants anything to do with you, and that's a sad reality of where we're at. Sort of like homeless cats and dogs. Drive around, which breaks my heart too. Is people will have animals with no intentions of taking care of them. They'll breed them or have them breeding, not getting them fixed, and then they'll just dump them off and just get rid of them, and they don't care. Those dump animals off on the side of the road. How many times you go driving around, you see a bunch of cats and dogs and shit just walking around without a home until finally they starve to death, and you see them malnourished and dead on the side of the road because you can tell they've been laying there for weeks without food. And people just ignore them and ignore them and ignore them and don't care. Pretty much. I think humans, to a degree, are now being treated as commodities as well. That's why third world countries are third world countries. Because if you're poor and have nothing, they don't care. I mean, think about how that sounds. Ugly, ain't it? My ugly side, ugly dark truth. It's like even like with if you're like let's say you don't have any money, right? And then you all of a sudden you got a successful business or something going, and you notice you're treated different, right? When you go places, like you know, it's the same thing, the same analogy. Now I wish I knew the answer, ICFI. I wish I knew the answer, but it's some of the nicest people I've met, were homeless, and I've met some people who had a lot of money who were cool, and I met the opposite. I met some homeless people that were fucking mean, or people that didn't have any money that were mean, and I've met some really rich people that were mean. So I've seen, the trick. 'Cause I think it just comes down to the types of people you run into. You know, you're gonna see like the jack of all trades. You're gonna see different types of people in life. You know. Yeah, he's right. Yeah, protest. Yeah, just like I said, you get treated differently. Like even like for example, like because I got a car, right? And most of my friends they don't have cars because they're expensive. A lot even like the used cars are just as much as the new ones. And so like even I get treated a lot better just for having a vehicle. Like, hey, can you want to go out sometime, like, or you want to like go out here or go out there because they know you have a vehicle, so like they see you, I guess, as responsible or you're taking care of your business or whatever. And so people just kind of treat you a little differently than versus if you have no car, right? They kind of give you this different treatment. Like even just a small analogy like that. And I don't have a fancy car. My car's a 2021. It's not fancy, but it's just the treatment's a lot better. You know, um, even like at the jobs, like the first thing I'll ask is, "Do you have transportation?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have my own car." And then you could tell the whole interview just turns around. Like the whole thing goes from, they're like they're dying to get you to work because they know that they can. Okay, if this guy's a vehicle, we can depend on him. Versus somebody who doesn't, he may not be able to get to work because he may be on the bus late, or he may forget to take the bus, and he may not have the money for the bus fare. So they start thinking about all these things already in their mind. It like circumvents. You know what I'm saying? It circumvents a lot. I remember even my ex boss was telling me at the security company, he was um, like just you having a car makes you more makes you more wanted because they see you got a source of transportation, you're reliable, you get to work. It's especially when there's no good public transport. Yeah, I'm just saying, like you get treated differently even by like the small things you have. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people that they don't think about this kind of stuff. You know, in most North American cities, yeah. You know, the thing was that at least probably in the 80s and 90s, or let's say even before that, you could be poor and still be like the coolest person on the block, and people liked you, and they wanted to be around you and shit like that. Now it's a lot different. Now it's sort of like if you don't have anything, people are just they not gonna fuck with you. They don't want to be around you. They treat you differently. Now they throw this term brokey around, and you don't have shit, and you're a peasant. And it's like this is like where we've gone to. It's like this whole like narcissistic society we've living in now, and it's like I don't make fun of people for not having anything. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I see other people do it. That's why, like, personally, I don't believe in it. You know what I'm saying? And like I was watching on the news the other day. It was they're having some sort of it was like a fundraiser for this church or something like that, and they were setting it up for poor families who couldn't afford turkeys or something like that for Thanksgiving. And so, Thanksgiving's around the corner. Hey, we're setting up this little, spot for Thanksgiving. All right. So I'm watching the news or whatever, and you read the comments. That's the first thing you do is you read the comment section on YouTube and see what people are commenting because it's nosy Nancy, I guess. Curiosity killed the cat. So you just reading the comments, and the some of the comments are like, oh, they're brokies, they can't afford a turkey and stuff like that. And I'm like, we have to help the poor, fuck them and stuff. And I'm like, wow, these are. So, I mean, I just couldn't believe the amount of comments of like from vast majority of people how they were treating them. And I'm like, wow, like, don't you have any like human decency in you at all? They like to give somebody a fucking turkey? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I mean, I know we live in a materialistic society now and it's all about, the whole foot on the neck, but Jesus Christ, can somebody at least have a turkey for Thanksgiving? Jesus, Lord have mercy. Like, y'all are just blatant about being disrespectful. Like, just wow. Because, like, I don't know, maybe I put too much into it, you know? It's the internet thing, I feel. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The whole term brokey or something. The Tates brought that up. Marvin said, oh, I know. But I'm just saying that it's just, this whole like foot on the neck mentality that people carry now. And that's why I unsubbed a lot of these YouTubers because they act like this now. Like you'll never have the 10th of my life. You wish you had my life. Unfollow. I'm not even gonna follow that motherfucker no more. It's sad because I actually followed some of you for years, but since you want to be a little narcissistic prick like that, I guess I'm just gonna have to unfollow you now. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna tell you how to run your channel, but I'm just gonna unsub. So whatever. I'm not gonna sit there and argue with these motherfuckers. But if that's the way you want to operate and stuff, this whole foot on the neck thing, go ahead. But I'm not following you anymore. I'm gonna sub from you. But anyway, yeah, you know, it's unfortunate. But it's a sad reality of the world we live in. That's where we're gearing towards now. We live in this digital nomad society. That's what I call it, digital nomads. You know, and I'm not saying I go around treating people like this. Absolutely not. Because one day you could be there again. It could happen. You never know. So that's why I'm always humble myself. Because I'm grateful for the things that I have. You know what I mean? And yeah, I see a lot of people now. They're like, they want to just get to the top because they don't want to sell you a product that's just better. Or they don't want to educate you on anything. They just want to just tell you you're a peasant. Like, I'm just going to get famous so I could be that next guy. I want to be the next, I want to be the next Andrew Tate, or I want to be the next, this guy or this guy. I want to be the next guy that steps on your fucking throat. Why can't I do that? And it's like, that's where we're at now, you know? You know? Now, there are some good YouTubers, good content makers that are passionate. I see this one guy that's always doing stuff for homeless people. You see other guys that buy pizzas and they'll rent rooms or something, or they'll buy them a bunch of hamburgers and pass them around. It's like, I give guys credit for doing that shit. Because, like me, I don't personally do that, but I just give the cash. Like I give cash to homeless people when I can, when I do have the money. You know, that's sort of what I do. And again, it may not be a lot, but it's better than nothing. You know, everyone, I guess, tries to contribute in their way to help. You know, like as far as Western society is concerned, we have it so good over here. I don't think a lot of people realize it, and that although there are people that are poor here and that are on the streets or whatever, but like most of us here, we have it pretty decent compared to others, and like somehow we lose sight of that. Like we lose sight of the things that we have. You know, and sometimes we could be a little ungrateful because you can go to like another country that's like a third world country that doesn't have anything, and you look at your situation and you're like, damn, like here I am bitching about this, but this person don't even have this or that. But here I have this, and that. You know, so like you always think that I have it better than somebody else, but I lose base of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't realize how good I have it compared to others because other people have it a lot worse. And sometimes we lose sight of that. We lose touch of that. You know, we are free, but left to die in a way is still a lot better than a forced prison, I guess. I mean, that's the way to look at it. Like if you look at America, for example, like we have all these, left and right groups, and you got all these weird groups and stuff, and people fight amongst each other. But a lot of people don't realize is that the one thing we all have in common is that we all have a roof over our head and we all have food in our bellies. A lot of people, like in certain situations or similar cases in other countries or even here, don't even have that, and we don't even realize that. They kind of take things for granted, especially here in Western civilization. Well, for now, that could end by 2030, aka the Great Reset. And for now, we have it a lot better than other people do, and we lose sight of that, and we become ungrateful. And that's what pains me a lot about a lot of YouTube content makers, especially like social media content makers, Instagram, all those people, Twitch, all of them, like pretty much a vast majority of them, is that they're very ungrateful. They're very ungrateful, like borderline narcissistic. They're ungrateful. They have a rotten personality, and that's why I just unfollowed most of them. Now, all these influencers, 95% of them are jokes, and they're ungrateful about their situation, and they don't realize how good they have it. Sometimes you could just be born into it and be lucky. depending on the region you're born in or whatever. I could have been born in another different part of the world where it could be a lot worse. And I never thought about that till tonight. I just said, you know what? This is reality. And like again, when we talk about, like when I saw that news article I was telling you guys about earlier, they were talking about Gaza, and they were saying like 74% unemployment rate, 90% of the country's poor and stuff. And then somebody said, well, that's because they're poor and nothing. The other countries don't care. I said, you know what? It probably might hold a little truth to it. And even though that's a wrong way to think, but that's the reality of how the world like views or how it operates, the mindset from up here. Does that mean we should change our mindset? Maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying that it's an eye opener. It definitely is an eye opener. They were talking about like Gaza. I think they were saying like 75% unemployment rate or something like that. And they were saying like that a lot of the countries in poverty. I don't know. I mean, I saw a news clip on it or something like that about a year ago. And one of the guys that was saying, well, it's because it's the way that we treat poor people or something like in society. It's like, we look past them, we don't try to help, or we don't do enough or whatever. And I thought about that and I said, you know what, that does kind of make sense because like, how many homeless people do we pass up a day here? Like, same thing, right? Like you walk by, you see homeless people, you go to work and you just walk past them and you don't think nothing of it. You're just like, you know, I never really thought of it. It's like the stray dogs, stray cats. It's like you see all these dogs and cats walking around with nowhere to live, and we just walk past them because nobody wants to take another animal in because, right, right, because you don't want to take another cat or dog. And see, the sad thing about in animals' case is like you see a lot of these people breeding dogs and cats, and you hear the stories, and then you'll see on the news they'll pull up in their truck, open the door, and just let all those dogs and cats out, knowing they have nowhere to go. I'm like, bro, like how do you sleep at night doing shit like that? Like I don't get how people are, but you know, that's the unfortunate about our society that we live in. Is that the point I was making in this video is that your poor people don't care. Like you don't. It just at least feels that way. Like if you're poor, no one cares. Does that make sense? It's like versus when you have even. I'm not saying you have to have a lot of money. I'm not saying you have to be a billionaire, but yeah, like some money, and I mean, you get treated a little differently. Does that make sense? Like you get treated a lot better. That's the point that I was making. So you get treated a lot better. Again, I'm not saying I agree with this because I think that there are some really cool people that are just in an unfortunate situation. So I'm not like to judge them. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's just that's how the world sort of treats you. Psyched out computer nerds. Maybe. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. There's so many groups playing for power, wanting to control in their own way. Oh, absolutely. That I agree with too. That I agree with. Stephen Rose says what's on most people's mind, most people don't discuss. That's what makes my channel unique. And the fact that I don't make any money from this, I just hit the record button and whatever happens, happens. So I have nothing invested in this. There's no, I'm not making any money off YouTube. My channel is what you call a dead channel. So my channel is a dead channel. I don't know what that means. Yeah, it's an unfortunate, you know, situation, man. It's like even I'm yeah, that's just a troll. Yeah. Nah, even I'm ungrateful at times. You know, like I never realized how good I had it compared to others. Sometimes you lose sight of that. And I think that's what a lot of people here in this country like don't understand is how good they have it compared to others. You know, it's like we lost sight of that. Unfortunate, but you know, that's just to tell the wind. It's the way of the world. Isn't it right, little pause? You can't really see him. He's laying down. What's up, WCG? We got an increase in homeless rate here. Oh, absolutely. It's been going around. Man, California's real bad, but Texas is up there too. Especially if everything's going to continue to go up. See if we're going to get worse when you're living paycheck to paycheck. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm just saying that you know you have it better than other people. You know, that's all I'm saying. You think the dollar's going to collapse before 2030? I think that we are on the pace of yeah. I think digital currency is coming. The cashless society. Go look around like downtown, for example. Like if even in the Dallas area or Houston, a lot of these places don't even want to take cash no more. You have credit or debit. They don't even want cash. And I'll offer it to them, and they're like, "We don't want it." I'm like, "What the fuck? What do you mean you don't want cash? What the fuck? You know, you're supposed to take the money, man. What the hell? What do you want the money?" Nah, man, we only take credit. I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me." And that's all they want to do. Like a BRICS currency, yeah. And Trump wants to pose that the tariffs on any country that goes to BRICS, that shit ain't gonna work. They said 160 nations are on top of that BRICS. You're gonna throw tariffs on all of them, Trump? Come on, dude. You're already gonna have a hard time enough shit throwing tariffs on China when they pretty much own all the products that we get, including our electronic devices. Good luck with that and see how that works. It's gonna fail. United States wants to move to be in isolationism. That's basically what it's trying to do. Basically, United States wants to pull away from NATO, which I think that's what essentially is going to happen. I think that that's what they want to do. Is that they want Europe to support all the wars from now on, and they want to pull out and end the contract and sort of like isolate ourselves from the rest of the world. Well, that sounds good on paper, but in reality, business wise, it's gonna suck dramatically, especially if we don't have anything coming out of this country that we've created and we've outsourced most of our jobs. and you've crushed the dollar, by the way. So when you look at all those things, it's going to be extremely hard to isolate yourselves when you have nothing of value to offer other than weapons manufacturing. And then you cripple the dollar. That's no good. That's not good. Now, tariffs have only had given inflation historically, and it has this whole campaign on it. Yep. Tariffs only work for short monetary gain. It's like 6 months, maybe. And even then, companies would have to invest here. Our companies would have to invest here. The problem is USA companies no longer invest in the United States. We outsource all of our labor. So if all of our labor is outsourced for penny to dollar, then how are the tariffs going to work, and how you're going to incentivize corporations to invest here? The fact they've already gotten many tax breaks. Now you want to give them more tax breaks so that they could just invest more in real estate and they could just outsource more of our labor. So this doesn't make any sense. It's all half-assed backwards bullshit. Now you throw the tariffs on all the work you're outsourcing. You're going to throw tariffs on those countries and then expect them to pay the cost and then it not roll down to the consumer? Come on, man. It's not going to work. It's going to fail. It failed miserably. Trump will see that about 6 months in his administration. He's going to look. He's going to look like a retard when he's like, oh, the cost of everything goes up. Oh, yeah, the cost of all the products, the electronics, everything going up. Well, yeah, no shit. I could have told you that. With those tariffs, you're better off just not throwing the tariffs on. He tried that once already with the whole Mexico pay for the wall. We saw where that went. I'm gonna call it. I get out no matter what time I have to go to work. Ah, yep, pretty much. Everyone's catching on. And then if our Social Security runs out, Jesus, Lord of mercy. If you got the Social Security, they say about 2040, we're going to lose Social Security. I make the argument it could be 2030. It's possible that we could lose Social Security by 2030. It wouldn't surprise me. If you could sum up this, what we don't, if you could sum up what form of capitalism, this is not a capitalist society. No. The idea that you could tax the middleman out of the market while giving tax breaks to the rich and corporations and allow them to invest and invade the real estate market and basically collapse our fucking market and buying everything up and like 10 companies owning everything. If you call that capitalism, I want no part of it. Basically, that's what you're saying that this country is what this country has become. Is it where a small amount of people are just going to take up everything? This is what you're having. Nation of stealing. You call that capitalism? No, I call that fascism. I call that capitalism/socialism. That's the best way to sum it up. This is the late stage of capitalism. Yeah, this is the dark path of capitalism we've headed to. This is no longer a free market. Let the market determine it. Yeah, like you hear a lot of conservatives say that. Let the market determine let the market determine the worth. We already seen what they're doing. And no, you've already seen what they're doing. It's absolutely not. And the market is determining what's happening. They're swallowing up everything. What are you talking about? And most of these mom and pop businesses are closing because they can't afford taxes. So only the two big to fail companies are the ones that are going to take everything. How is late stage capitalism socialism? Well, the idea you tax the middle class out of the market. That's not capitalism. That's fascism. This is a deep, dark stage of capitalism we live in. This is no longer about the free market or no longer about let competition sort itself out. No, it's just let me avoid as many taxes as I can and let's pass it down to the middle class and let them pay everything so that we can swallow them up, buy their companies up, buy their stocks up, and push them out of the market and close them for good. So it forces the majority of people have to shop or get stuff at certain places. This is not a let the competitive market balance itself out. No, it's just let's just big fish eat little fish and then let's see where it goes. That's what you're seeing. That's the capitalist society we live in. That's fascism. That even is a little bit of socialism too. This isn't capitalist society. It's just an illusion of it. You just have an illusion of freedom. Just saying. It's not a capitalist society. And we never have lived in a capitalist society. And it's been that way since the 1913 Federal Reserve Act. So it's never been. And people get angry at me for telling that. I'm like, because it's truth. Just saying. But yeah, this is the reality of the world we live in. It's it seems like to me like if you're poor, no one cares. You know. And again, I don't agree with it. By the way, I think that people should be treated, with human decency, regardless of whether you have it all or you don't. But I don't think that's how the world operates. Like to a like vast majority, like the mindset. Does that make sense? Just saying. Good video as always, Rose. Appreciate that. Oh, no, appreciate you, Marvin. Appreciate you. Like I said, I don't judge people based on their income status. Now, if let's say they, have problems or something like that, then, maybe that's a different story. You know, like, because we all, at the end of the day, we all have our demons. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, everybody has different types of demons they deal with. So no, essentially, no one's perfect. That's the point that I'm making. Your videos are getting better now that you're only doing them once a week. Oh yeah, that's because I can't. I'm only off Tuesday, Wednesdays, so those are the only days I can make videos. Really, the other days I do videos. It's just like pick videos, sending my pics out, shit like that. But like videos like this, it's 2 days out of the week. Like, see, I produced like what 3 videos today, and then it'll probably be you won't see another video till Sunday. No, Monday. Monday. No, Tuesday. Tuesday. You'll see another video on Tuesday. I used to stream every day. I can't do that anymore. So I do them. You'll see me again on Tuesday and Wednesday next week. So you cherish this video right here, okay? For today. Because you won't see me here for another 5 days. I can't stream like that anymore. Unless I do it during the day. Maybe I could do a video here or there. It just depends on the type of video I want to do. If I'm in the mood. But I like it better at night. When everybody's sort of laid down and relaxed. Well, I appreciate you for enjoying them. I just say what's on top of my mind. I got some more juicy videos I plan on making, but I'm gonna wait until next week, Tuesday, Wednesday. You know, when you work the night shift, it's extremely hard. It's extremely hard to do videos all the time. So I just say I'm just gonna do them on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but preferably probably Wednesdays most likely. Do you wish you just won the lottery? Hell yeah! If you won the lottery and fucking move, everybody in your eighth cousin's gonna have their hand out after that. They will be at your doorstep. Pay me, and you're gonna be like, shit, I gotta move. Yeah, no choice, because everybody in your neighborhood is gonna say, "I need help, I need money, I need this." And you hear won the lottery and shit. And you're like, you know what? Let me go ahead and move. I think about it. If you guys won the lottery, wouldn't you move? I would. So I'd probably move to San Antonio and get a nice house out there. Move to the SA. Move to San Antonio, somewhere out in the country. Move out there and live out in the countryside. Not have to worry about not living in the big city anymore. I'd rather live in a small area. You know, I've always been a suburb kind of guy. Like live in the suburbs. Now, I just want to live in the countryside and just retire. Would you still make videos? Nope. I'd be gone. Mm-mm. If I won the lottery, I'm done. I wouldn't delete my channel. I would just leave my videos up. I just wouldn't be there anymore. I'll still watch videos. I wouldn't comment though. I don't want any traces of me left behind. No, sir. I'd be gone. I would disappear off the grid, and you would have to for your own safety, especially if you won the lottery. Oh my god, everyone's looking for you. So you know, if I would move off the grid. Absolutely. I would miss making YouTube videos, but in that case, hell no. I would be gone. You just have to watch my old retro videos. I still got a ton of videos on private, which respectfully so I had to. I had to put a lot of them on private. Fair. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would definitely would move. Absolutely. You would have to. If assuming you won the lottery. So I wish I won it. Shit. Maybe a house in Hawaii. Move out to Hawaii, maybe. I'm just kidding. Nah, I probably wouldn't move out to Hawaii, but Hawaii's been on my bucket list, man, to go visit. And I don't know why, but it's like lately, like destination, Hawaii. It's been one of the places I want to go visit. There's other places in the world too, but Hawaii is definitely one of them. I want to go to Honolulu. I want to go hiking, and you know, I'm pretty sure they have some really cool spots to go hiking and shit like that. I want to try their food, go out to their beaches. Yeah, I've been out of the states. I've been to Mexico once. I've been to Arizona, Cali, Arizona, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. And then I did go to Oklahoma to go gambling just recently, but other than that, that's I never like stayed in Oklahoma for too long. But yeah, next year I plan on going to Arizona for like maybe like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks or something like that. I want to go to the Grand Canyon, Cave Creek. They have this one mountain. It's like the second highest elevation in the United States. I want to go there. Check that out. Yuma, Flagstaff. Uh, you know, have some like unfinished business in Arizona. Definitely want to go back. I got friends down there too. Got some friends there. So. But yeah, California's beautiful. You kidding me? As much shit as people talk about California, and even I'm guilty of that, it's a really nice state. At least when I went. San Diego, beautiful, 75-degree weather, nice winds, you know. Um, some really good places to eat down there. There's always something to do. You know, I've been to LA, I've been to Long Beach, and walked down the strip and saw Venice Beach. Venice Beach is beautiful, man. It's where all the stoners are at. But yeah, it's beautiful down there. I've been to Vegas, you know. I went and gambled at the casinos. And I didn't win anything, but I went and gambled. But yeah, I don't know what words I want to say right now because I think I pretty much said everything I wanted to say in this video. But it's unfortunate the way that the world is. But you know, on the flip side, there are decent people out there. You know what I'm saying? You are gonna have some some decent people out there I've met that are really cool. Hang out with shit like that. I run into them all the time. So you're always gonna have those types of people too. But it's just a unfortunate thing is it's like if you don't have anything, like you get treated a lot different than versus when you have something. It may not have to be necessarily, billions of dollars or gazillions or trillions or anything like that. Just having some money, like you just get treated a lot better, you know? If that kind of makes sense, you know? It's a sad reality of it. Does that mean it'll ever change? I have no clue. I just do what little I can to help. Like if I see somebody homeless, I'll give them $20. I've given, some of them $10, $15 at the time. And that's even when I was working in security making $11 an hour. I was still doing that. Just to be nice. I guess it all paid off, right? How do you say Miss Pelt Penguin? I don't know how to say your name. And I appreciate y'all, what I'm saying, joining the streams. But I can't make content, unfortunately, every day like I used to. But I do like once a week. Or like, so my next video will be next Tuesday. Today's Wednesday, right? You got, well, wait, today Thursday, technically. Thursday morning, so you got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So another 6 days. I'll be off of here until I make another video. You know, see, I'm not trying to get big on YouTube. Those days are behind me. It's just now, it's just if I feel like uploading a video, I'll do it. And I'll have a topic that I think a lot of people would be engaged in. Instead of me just streaming every day for no effing reason. I think that I'm kind of happy I don't do that anymore. Yeah. Felt like, once or twice a week, 3 times a week, I'm good with that. Those videos are good enough for me, bro. Hold on 1 second. Why is it that I can't see all the messages on here unless I hit see all messages? It's weird. Cryptocurrency, I don't know if I ever would invest in that. I think crypto is going to burn out one day. I think sooner or later we're going to burn out of crypto. Maybe not today, but eventually it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Live chat? Yeah. Well, like it gives you the option here that you can see all messages or the top messages. And so if you don't click on all messages, then you can only see certain messages. You can't see all of them. Some people like their comments are hidden for some reason. So you have to hit all to see all of them for me to visibly see all of them. I don't know why it's like that. I always was wondering why YouTube set it up like that. I don't get it. But yeah. What do you think about 3 day work week, 4 day work week? Oh, absolutely. 5 days on, 2 days off sucks. Your 2 days go by so fast. I'd rather work 4 10s and get 3 days off. I'd rather get 4 10-hour shifts and get 3 days off, or work 2 12s and a 16 and get 4 days off. And you could like either work another job or whatever. I don't think too many jobs offer that. Like some do, but most don't, unfortunately. They only want to do the 5 days, 8 hour shifts, and they want to get you on that. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they don't, we're like, everywhere's so short staffed, so that's how they want to get you. Been proven by some guy just to be better in every way. Hell yeah, I would love to have at least 3 days off. At least 3 to 4. None's worse than feeling like living at your job. Oh, absolutely. It just sucks. Hell yeah, who the hell wants to live at their damn job? They're like, yeah, if you could work 12 hours a day and do 12, 12, and 16 and get 40 and get 4 days off, shit, I'd do it. I'd work my 16 first on a Saturday, and just kill it, get it over with, and then on a Sunday, you work 12. On Monday, you work 12, and then you get Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off. Oh shit, count me in. I would do it in a heartbeat. I think for like nurses and stuff, they get like so many days off. Like certain jobs, they offer that shit, and not every job does. Most jobs don't. Unfortunately, they don't offer that. They don't offer the 4 days or 3 days off. They just want you working the eights, the 5 8s. You know. I appreciate 19 people live on the chat. It seems like I'm not boring you, not boring you. That's good to know. At least I came up with some good topics. This was a good one. What's the most you ever gave a poor person? You mean like money? Like you mean like homeless? Uh, Man, like 60, $70. I've done it. Now there's one lady I was giving $20 to every day for like a whole week. That's damn near about what, $140. And it adds up. I didn't think about it. I'm like, damn, I didn't give her $20 a day, 7 days. I'm like, holy shit, that's what, 7 times what? 2 is 14. Yeah. $140. Wait, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. Yeah, 140. $140, bro. But I did it just to be nice. Some people, they need it more. But some people need the money more. And sometimes you think like you're kind of doing a blessing because like good things will happen to you, right? Like good things will happen to you when you do nice things for others, right? So you give somebody 20, not because you're expecting something in return, but just from the kindness of your heart that you did something nice. Because you feel like, well, God, you bless somebody, and then God in return will bless you later on in life for that. I always believe in that. That you do something nice for somebody, it'll come back on you. And even if like let's say you you don't necessarily like get anything in return or later on, it's just the kindness that matters, the thought, the kindness that matters. So I'm going with that. It's the kindness that matters. We got 17 people watching. I appreciate that. You guys are awesome, man. I appreciate that, man. I try to come up with some real world topics, man, that I think, people are gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna check this shit out, you know. And I appreciate that. I really do. I don't get this many people watching my streams. Like if I'm lucky, maybe 10. Five on a good day. Five on a bad day. 10 on a good day. All right, 25 viewers up to 34. Shit, that's amazing. If they clicked on, watched a little bit, and they're like, okay, I get what this guy's saying, and click off. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, it's probably like 5 a.m. Oh, it's 5:20. Come on, Mr. Rose. Go to bed. I am. I appreciate you guys for taking the time to watch this. And I will see you Tuesday. Tuesday next week. Y'all take care.